Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have got stage 8 of Hero Collector's Build Your Own Ghostbusters Ecto 1. Okay, so stage 8, we're continuing on with the engine. There is loads of little fiddly parts in this one, so I'll show you what we've got to do. So when we open the magazine, we go to this part here. This is stage 8, just here. Obviously we get our parts list. There's a nice big long parts list there. We've got loads of little parts. These are the spark plugs and everything that we're going to be fitting today. So now we can go to stage 8. This is where we left off last week. We had this part left over and this part left over from last time. We're going to be using them this week. We're going to put that into this section to make up the right cylinder head. We're going to be fixing that to the other part we had left over from last week, attaching that to the actual engine block itself. Then we're going to assemble the fuel pump and filter. We're going to attach that to the engine. And then we're going to be building and affixing the ignition coil. And then we're going to be inserting the spark plugs and distributor caps. And then the starter motor is also going to go on this week, and that's what we should have left over. So as you can see, there's a fair few little parts to be handling this week, and they have supplied us with a nice little pair of tweezers that we can use just in case. I was a bit worried opening up the packaging that these little parts were going to fly everywhere, but they have put them in a little bag so they will not fly everywhere. So yeah, let's get the rest of the parts open and start building. Okay, so this week we get DM screws, BM screws, AP, BP and FP screws. So make sure you've got these 5 sets of screws when you open up the packaging. Okay, so first up we're going to be bringing in this section here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this and we're going to be bringing in this section here. This does have a gigantic R just on the side, just here. And what we're going to do is on the side we've got 3 holes. And on here we've got 3 slots. So all we're going to do is plug that into there. Just like that, and now we can secure that in these 3 location points just here with AP screws. So let's get that done now. I do have the AP screws already opened and we can screw that in. These should go in fairly easy. Let's get them all in. And the last one, just throw the screw right the way across the rim. Screw them all the way down, you can tighten them all up now. And that is what you should have, just like that, with these 3 sections all screwed in. Okay, so next we're going to be bringing in this tiny little detail here, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to just plug that just on the side, holding it from underneath with our thumb, just like that. And now we can bring in this bit that says Cadillac. Now which way do we want the Cadillac facing? So we want it facing so we can read it from this silver section here. So we want Cadillac facing that way. Just like that. And now we can screw this in with these 4 screw points just here. And this is going to be secured in with BP screws. So we'll get the first ones in. I'm going to actually put the one in closest to the detail that we've just put in, because it will hold it in for us. Just down there. Now we can put the rest of them in. I've seen different people do different things with the actual Cadillac marking on the detail itself, with custom painting it. I've seen some people go with silver, some people go with just painting the actual Cadillac on it red. Just like that. So this part here, we've got these 3 lines here and these 3 lines this side. I've seen a lot of people paint these silver, and the actual Cadillac silver, or just paint the Cadillac written down there red. So we may do something with that towards the end of the video. Okay, so next we're going to be bringing in this section here. This is the section that we had left over from last week, and all we're going to be doing is we're going to be fixing this onto the front here. So we want this facing down. This is going to just plug onto there, so it's sort of like that. And we can turn it around, and we're going to fix this on with 2 ports here, with 1 screw hole here and 1 screw hole here. I'm going to fit that on. I'm going to be using AP screws for that. So let's get 2 more AP screws. Okay, so that all lined up. Now we can push our screw through the top and secure that into place. That's the first side, and now we'll do the second side, which is going to be just here. Just like that, and that's what we're looking at this stage. Okay, so now we're going to be bringing in our engine block, and what we're going to do is we're going to sit that down there, and this is all this is going to do is just going to slot it onto there, and it's going to locate onto the 2 holes, 1 and 2, and then we're going to be screwing it from the outside. So we can now try and maneuver this into position. It may take a little bit of wiggling to get it in there. So come on. There we go. It's a tight fit, but it does go in, and that's that in now. Now we can secure this in. From this section, we've got a hole here and a hole here. We're going to secure that with DM screws. Right, so we're going in from this section here, all the way down. So make sure you've got a nice long screwdriver. Screw that into place, all the way down, nice and tight. Just like that, and now we can do exactly the same with the second screw, just down here. Just like that, and our engine is starting to come together a bit now. Okay, so we can set this to the side for a moment, and we're going to bring in some small little details here. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to be fitting these together. So we have got this section here, which has got 2 holes just on the side here, and we've got this section here which has a peg hole and a screw hole. So that's going to locate into there. So the peg hole goes in first, pushing it on, so it clips in just like that, and now we can screw that into there with a, what kind of screw is it? AP screw. So we have got loads of AP screws left. Oh, it's come back out, so we can just put that back in now. So this bit is a bit fiddly to hold, but just take your time. There we go. So that is that now in there. Next we're going to need this section here. It's like got a double winged section just there. All we're going to do is we're going to turn this over so it's upside down. We're going to take this part here, and that's going to go just on there, and we want this facing sideways, just like that, and we can push it down into place. It doesn't really want to stay, but that's alright because we're going to turn it over, and there's a hole on the bottom of it just there, so we can try and hold this in with our fingers. Then we're going to take this section that we've just made, and we're going to turn that upside down, and we're going to hold that there, and this is going to have an FP screw straight through the top. Let's get an FP screw, which I do have here. Alright, so let's hold that into place. We want this detail that way round, sort of like that. Alright, let's screw this in. This is going to hold the top section of this on and into place. When we turn it over, it should line up nicely with that section there. Okay, so now our engine, we've got this section here that we put on that's silver. That's where this is going to go. This does have a key notch on the other side, and there is actually a key slot on this little tiny detail here. So lining that up, we can drop that onto there, and it does take a little squeeze to get it down. Once it's down, it should sit nice and flush, just like that. And then all that's left to do is take this little tiny detail just here, and we're going to do is we're going to put that straight on the top. This also has a little key notch just in there. So we can drop that on, twisting it round till it drops into place. Can be quite fiddly. Now we can lock that onto there with a BP screw. So this now won't move. So I'm going to leave it where it is, drop the PP screw straight down the middle. There we go, nice and tight. Now that ain't moving, ain't going anywhere. Okay, we're getting into tiny parts territory now, and these are the 3 parts that we need. All we're going to do is we're going to pick this up, and the back section has, the front section has a hole in it, the back section has like a peg on the back. So the actual little round piece that we're going to use, that is going to plug into the back section, the front section, sorry, in there, to make it look just like that. And then this other tiny little detail, we're going to plug that into the front, just like that. So that's sort of what we got. Now we can fit this to the top here. We've got 2 holes of our engine just here. We have a peg hole and a screw hole on here. So we want this facing in ways, dropping that onto there, and we're going to be screwing this with a BP screw. So I'm going to get the BP screw first. That is that now onto there, just there. So you want the pointy end facing in the ways. Okay, so next we need this little bag full of all the little spark plugs. So we're going to empty that out onto the table, just there. And I'm going to try and use the tweezers that they supplied us with. So it wants us to plug these in all the way around the engine. So we've got all these little holes just here, and on the back end just here. That's where they want to go. What way around do they want to go? With the small peg. So I'll try and get it on the camera. So we want this end here plugging into the actual engine itself. Okay, so let's try and plug these in. That's one. You might not need. Yeah, I'm going to use the tweezers because they're easier. So let's start plugging these in. All the way. Make sure you push it all the way down, because the last thing you want is to store your engine away and then there's no spark plugs in it. So it's this side complete. They're so small. They're all in there. 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. Just here we've now got the 4 holes, and we're going to try and fit these in. That's that one in. And now last one. Just like that. And that's all the spark plugs now into place. Okay, so next we're going to use this little tiny silver thing, and it's got this little slotted section on the back. That's going to apply to this slot on the back of this section here. So all we need to do, push that on. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Just give it a good shove Now that is that on there. Okay, so next is the little dipstick, and that is going to go in a little slot just behind there. This has got half an arch on the back end, so you can only go in one way, and that just slots straight in, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to open this little bag, and this has got all these little parts in there. These are the 9 distributor caps. Okay, so these are going to go what way they want to face. Small end, you've got a large end and a small end. So the small end facing down the way, and this is all going to go into this section here. So we want them all in, facing out the way. So we're going to plug all of these in all the way around. Okay, so once you've got all of them plugged in there, there's one more that has to go straight down the top, and this wants to face to, what way does it want to go? It wants to face in the way, just like that, because it's going to be going, there's going to be a wire going from this to this bit. So we can push that in. Just like that. And now there is this tiny little blue cable just here, and we're going to plug that into there. I'm not going to glue this. God, this doesn't want to go in here. Come on. There we go. That's one section on. I'll try spin this around. So we've got like that. It does look a little long, so I may cut this down a bit because we don't need all of this. And then I've got a loop here, so I'm going to actually trim this down so we can trim it to roughly about here. So I'm going to get the sprue cutters and just trim a little bit of excess, probably about half off of that, because we don't need all of that. Actually go a little bit more. Make sure that you don't take too much off. That's better. Now it looks exactly like it does in the picture. Okay, so now we're going to need this black section here. It does have a peg hole and a screw hole just there. On the inside, just here, that's our screw hole. And there's a little tiny peg hole just in there. So we've got to slot this in behind there, trying to locate the pinhole. Okay, so that's that now in. It wasn't too easy to get that in there because you were sort of blindsided, and now we're going to screw in a screw just down here. Just like that, and that is now locked into place there. So there's only a couple more steps to do. So now we want to bring in this little pipe here, and this is going to slot straight down here, just like so, and this is going to be secured on to the back here with an AP screw. So we can do that now. I'm actually going to turn that this way round, going in from the top. That's our AP screw on. And now one more thing to do. That's this little tiny section here. We're going to need a BP screw. So I'm going to get one of them ready, because this is going to look like it's going to be fiddly to hold. Right, and this is going on this black section here. We've got a pin and we've got a hole. So locate the pin in by like that. This wants to come out in my hand. So I'm going to hold it there just like that through the back section here. We can now screw that into place. Just like that. And that is this issue complete. So now we've got this all complete. I've got some metallic acrylic paint. This is metallic silver. I only want a tiny piece of this. Just there. So I've got a fine paintbrush, and all I'm going to do is lightly dab it just in there, and then I'm going to be taking off the excess paint. And all we're going to do is we're going to lightly dab this just on there. Just to bring out the details a little. So we can do this side as well. Just like that, and that sort of brings out the details. I'm just going to redo this side a little. So now we're going to do the Cadillac section in the middle, so we're going to take our time. Just finally going over it to bring out the detail of the Cadillac. Okay, so now we've got both sides painted. We've got the Cadillac on this side painted, and we've done the 3 lines, and also on this side as well, just like that. Okay guys, that is stage 8 all complete. Thank you very much for joining me. There was a few little hiccups here and there, and here's how it's looking so far. If I had any recommendations for you, it'd be cut this blue pipe in half so it goes and fits nicely. It looks a lot better since I've cut it in half than it did before. I've also painted the Cadillac down the sides just there, and that's looking a lot better now. So yeah, that's it for this week. Join me again next time when we look at stage 9. Till then, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.